What's up guys? It's Wednesday, which means Polyphasic Sleep Update. I've been doing Polyphasic Sleep for 3 weeks now, and it's been great for me. My productivity has skyrocketed, and I just feel energized and ready to attack the day every day. I'll give you a quick update on how things are going, and then I'm going to go through my sleep kit, which is all the stuff I take with me if I am going to have to sleep somewhere other than home. So that should hopefully be helpful for you guys that are just starting out. One of the worst things is when you need to take a nap and you don't have anything with you, like as far as a pillow or blanket or a mask or anything to help you with sleep. Because when you miss those critical sleep times, it just makes it that much harder to stick with it. Just to let you know, I post about 5 videos a week on varying topics, not always polyphasic sleep, but I do a polyphasic sleep video every week. So make sure and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any content. Also, I want to mention that tomorrow I'm going to do another polyphasic sleep video that features ways to stay awake when you're really tired. And I think that's going to be a pretty fun video. It's going to be a different format than this. I'll be doing a lot of B-roll footage and just kind of having a good time with it. So make sure and come back tomorrow to see that. There's a chance with all the editing that it's actually going to be the day after tomorrow before it's ready. So if you don't see a video tomorrow, it'll be out the day after that. I'm just new to editing, so it might take me a couple days. So the first thing I'll do is go over the last week and the last 3 weeks as a whole to kind of show you how my sleep has been going. And we'll talk about areas where I had a misstep or missed a nap and so on, and talk about those things. First, I want to put my nap chart up so that in case you haven't watched any of my other videos, you can see what my sleep schedule is. So it's a 3.5 hour core and 3 20-minute naps. I won't go into too much detail on that. If you haven't seen the previous videos, a link should pop up so that you can go watch those. So now I want to talk about my sleep over the last week and how it's been going. So if you watched last week's video, you already know that on Tuesday I had a pretty rough time, missed a nap, had to sleep in the truck an extra time, and then my core was all disrupted from work. So that caused me to be kind of tired, but it wasn't as bad as I expected. And then on Thursday, I had a 2-hour oversleep, and that was a big problem. So I got on Discord, I talked to the guys, they said that that could be as much as a 10-day setback, which is, you know, pretty upsetting because that's just longer than I have to kind of work through the tiredness and everything. But I wanted to talk about how that oversleep affected me versus how that rough night where I missed sleep affected me. So what I did on the chart is I added how I was feeling that day on a scale from 1 to 10, and I think the lowest on there was a 5, but you'll notice that after the day that I missed sleep, my ratings went down to like an 8. So it really wasn't that bad. I was a little bit tired from sleep deprivation, but it wasn't too bad. But after that oversleep, I dropped down to like a 6. That taught me a valuable lesson about oversleep versus missing sleep. So now, after that experience, I realized that if I have to choose between the two, I'll miss sleep because oversleep is just killer. And I think what's going on there is that when you miss sleep, it doesn't cause any remapping of where your REM falls during the day or your circadian rhythm. You just get tired. But when you oversleep, your body says, oh, we're going back to monophasic sleep. Great. I'll go ahead and shift things around. So then your naps really suffer. And that's what I noticed is over those next couple days, I had a lot of trouble falling asleep. So if you watch the previous videos, you've heard me talk about how I was falling asleep really quickly, wasn't having any trouble waking up refreshed. Well, all that went out the window when I overslept. My naps were not restful. I would wake up, I'd still be tired. I wouldn't fall asleep sometimes. I had my first nap so far on the whole program where I actually just laid there and couldn't fall asleep for 20 minutes. That was pretty frustrating. That pretty much covers the oversleeping thing. Definitely be careful about that. That's the best way to derail your progress. So the other thing is, this week I haven't been quite as disciplined about staying away from caffeine and alcohol. I finished the Whole30 about a week ago, so I started reintroducing those things. Last night I had a few beers, and I'm feeling it this morning because that affects your sleep. So definitely stay away from that stuff. So as far as how I'm currently feeling, I'm definitely feeling some tiredness. It's medium, it's not really bad or anything. So tiredness, I've noticed that my memory is a little bit lacking. It's not, again, it's not terrible, but I've just noticed that I'm having trouble remembering some things. My mood, I've had a couple days where I was pretty cranky, and I think that's just from the tiredness getting to me. And also reintroducing foods that I haven't had in a while has got me feeling a little sluggish. And then this something that just comes along with sleep deprivation is my focus has suffered a little bit, but it's really just when my energy levels drop, which it's not all the time, it's just leading up to a nap or something like that. So let's get into my nap kit. So I have a set of 4 or 5 things that I keep with me when I'm gonna have to nap away from home. So obviously my preferred place to nap is in bed. I get my best sleep there, but I'm going to have to sleep in my vehicle sometimes or at other people's houses, and it's really better if I have my own stuff to help me through that. So the first thing, and I've talked about this before, is these glasses. They're blue light blocking glasses. So they keep the blue light from hitting my eyes, which reduces the production of melatonin, which is basically the wake-up hormone. By reducing that hormone, I increase the sleep pressure. So I wear these when I have a nap coming up, and it helps me to get tired for the nap. I don't necessarily need them. I've had naps where I didn't have these and it's not a problem, but I want to do everything I can to maximize the effectiveness of my naps, especially until I'm adapted. So I'm going to go through each nap and talk about my process leading up to the nap and what things I use during the nap. So my first nap is at 5:40. It goes till 6 in the morning, and that's the simplest of my naps. It's still dark outside, it's quiet in the house, so I don't have as many challenges that keep me from sleeping. So what I do for my morning routine, I am out here in the light before my nap, so I do put these glasses on 20 or 30 minutes before my nap, just to start getting my body into that rhythm of nap time. I also am a strong believer in cognitive association. If you've heard of Pavlov's dogs, that was a psychological study done a long time ago. But essentially your body and your mind associates certain things with other things. Pretty basic concept. So I am triggering something. When I put these glasses on, it tells my body we're about to have a nap. So it helps to get my rhythm going. So that's 20 or 30 minutes before. 10 minutes before, I cut screens because those are a very strong stimulus to stay awake. So I stop looking at screens. Right before I do that, I double check that my alarm is set to the right time and that it's on, that the volume's turned up. So then I cut the screens out. Then about 2 minutes before, I'm getting into bed. So I get into bed a couple minutes early and kind of lay there and think about, kind of reflect a little bit, and then I actively try to fall asleep. So that's my first nap, pretty basic. The second one gets a little more complicated. That's my nap at lunchtime. So what I do is 20 minutes before my nap, I leave my desk, I put these glasses on, and I start walking out to my vehicle. It's about a 5 or 10 minute walk. So when I get there, typically I have to set the climate control to get it to a comfortable temperature. During that time, it's worth noting I don't listen to the radio or anything because I don't want to start stimulating my brain to think about things. So this is the nap where I have the most equipment because I need to set up a comfortable sleep environment and I don't have my bed available. So the first key component is my big ass pillow. I wouldn't actually choose a pillow this big, but this was an extra one that we had available. So it became part of my sleep kit. Next is my blanket. So I have a pretty heavy blanket here. I started Polyphasic Sleep in the wintertime, so it was cold, needed a heavy blanket. If you're starting another time of year or you're in a warmer climate, you wouldn't have to have such a heavy blanket, but it's good to have. Next is my sleep mask. I'm very sensitive to light, so I like to have a mask to make it completely dark while I'm sleeping. It really helps me to sleep better, and I just get more restful sleep this way. This one I've found doesn't bother me at all. It's really comfortable. And the last thing is AirPods. So obviously you don't need AirPods, but you need some sort of earphones, or at least I do, because I like to listen to white noise. So I just wear one. That's one of the perks of the AirPods is you can wear one at a time. Then I just use an app on my phone that has a fan noise, and that really helps me get to sleep. So that wraps up my kit review. And we're back. So that's my kit for my lunch nap, which is the most complex. Now, if it's the weekend and we're gonna go somewhere and possibly be away from home for my noon nap or my evening nap, I'll take those things with me so that I can be sure that I have everything I need to have a successful nap. So the only difference for my lunch nap is that when I'm setting up my sleep environment, I'm getting my pillow, blanket, and everything ready. And then 2 minutes before, I'm switching the glasses for the mask and I'm turning on that fan noise. and then I put my alarm like on the other side of the truck where I can't reach it without kind of crawling over some things, just to make sure that I don't reset my alarm and like miss the second half of the day at work. That would not be good. So then my evening nap is basically like the morning nap, but with the nighttime mask. So when I leave work, I have about a 20-minute commute. So as soon as I get into the truck, I put these glasses back on, drive home. I make sure to turn the radio off about halfway home, get home about 20 minutes before my nap starts, sometimes less. Say hi to the family, and then same sort of thing, 10 minutes before I cut screens off, check my alarm, 2 minutes before I put my headphones in, start the fan noise, switch to the sleep mask, and get into bed. So that pretty much sums up my nap strategy. I find that it's been working very well. When my strategy is disrupted, typically my nap is disrupted in some way. So if I don't have my blanket in the truck for my lunch nap, or I forget to turn on my fan noise for my evening nap, all of those things can kind of affect whether I sleep well. It's definitely good for you to make a strategy that defends your nap and makes your naps more successful, because that's going to help you to adapt and it's going to make it less painful in general. And also, if you're not using these glasses, if you don't have a pair of these glasses, you absolutely should get some. They have really helped me to fall asleep quickly, which is critical on polyphasic sleep. Also, if you want to look at any of these things that I've presented here, I will have links in the description below. So go down there, you can review all of the things that I use for sleep. The only thing that won't be on there is the blanket, because that's a Navy issue blanket and you can't go buy them. But I'm sure you have a blanket that you prefer anyway. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new here and you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any content. I just want to remind you that a video will be coming out today or maybe tomorrow about how to stay awake when you're tired during adaptation. I think there are 8 or 10 tips in there, so definitely come back to watch that, and I will see you in that video.